watch out for himself. While Bruce Lee was not afraid of these threats, he revised his original plan to teach several forms of Chinese martial arts and instead created his own form. But then, Huang, one of the Chinese martial arts teachers in San Francisco who was angered by the fact that Bruce Lee was teaching martial arts to foreigners, sent Bruce Lee a written challenge. In his letter, Master Huang stated that if he defeated Bruce Lee, then the latter must close his martial arts school and stop teaching Chinese martial arts to foreigners. The contest would be held in an abandoned warehouse. Master Huang practiced a kind of boxing that integrated the better points of a number of boxing forms. His twist strikes were volatile and his footwork was agile and fast. At the time, Bruce Lee had not yet established the full substance of his Jeet Kune Do, so he fought Huang using Wing Chun boxing techniques he had mastered in his early years. Master Huang fought Lee with fierce and formidable fist strikes. Now at first, Bruce Lee found himself at a disadvantage. After 3 minutes of desperate fighting, Bruce Lee suddenly cried out and then pummeled his opponent with fists as hard as steel. Master Huang staggered backward, and before he could find his footing, Bruce Lee charged over and beat him with a stormy round of fists and feet. He finished by throwing Master Huang up and away with a peg. The bigger man dropped to the ground like a piece of stone. He rolled on the ground and picked himself up. Then Bruce Lee stepped forward and dispatched a heavy blow that sent Master Huang to the ground again. Master Huang was humiliated and admitted defeat.
Of seconds.
After that contest, Bruce Lee devoted considerable time to improving Jeet Kune Do boxing by giving it a faster attack rhythm. He demanded that his students put the attacks of the opponent out of their heads and strike head-on with resolution until they beat their opponent in a very short time.
截拳道的招式是无形之形，无事之事。它有一套基本的训练方法，但是技击的时候不主张泥古于僵化的守着某一招一式一拳一脚，这就是截拳道最简单的一个表达方式。他主张呢，用最短的时间、最简单的动作直接表达。两个人交手，在一起对打，寻找经济线，两个人身体中间的中线、最短线，而且呢，最短的时间、最简单的动作，毫不浪费时间，没有任何的蹲身起步，没有任何的花套的招式。 一招制敌，精简直接，这就是截拳道技击理念的核心。
Bruce Lee made a number of changes to the Yong Chun boxing technique known as the inch strike and incorporated it into Jeet Kune Do. The inch strike is a unique Yong Chun boxing technique for dealing sudden blows on an opponent. A blow can be rendered within a distance of several inches or even within an inch. The inch strike technique used in Jeet Kune Do retains the best points of Yong Chun boxing and assimilates key points of several other boxing styles that stress the cultivation of internal energy. But back to the story of Master Huang and Bruce Lee. The news that Bruce Lee had beaten Master Huang spread far and wide among Chinese Americans, but outside Chinatown, his name was scarcely known. Because of this, Bruce Lee decided to go on a demonstration tour to promote Jeet Kune Do in the United States. Well, to his disappointment, most of the people who turned up were Asians. Very few non-Asians came to watch his performances. Then one day, a friend said to Bruce Lee, "You're so good at martial arts. Why don't you go and demonstrate your skills at the Pan-American Karate Tournament?" At the time, Japanese karate was one of the most popular Eastern martial arts in the US. There were national karate competitions, but no national competitions for practitioners of Chinese martial arts. This was largely due to the very conservative attitude of Chinese martial arts masters who did not wish to pass on their Chinese martial arts skills to foreigners. Bruce Lee, however, wanted to promote Chinese martial arts throughout the world. Disappointed, he cut his demonstration tour short and returned to California to attend the National Karate Tournament. The most impressive contestant in the competition was Chuck Norris, an American who had won the championship at no less than 3 Pan American karate tournaments in a row. It was expected he would win the title at this session as well. Bruce Lee passed the second round in the elimination series with ease, and the fighters decamped against Norris. Although Bruce Lee fought in accordance with karate rules, he also variedly used vigorous Wing Chun boxing techniques. Norris, who had never faced a rival using such techniques, was defeated. In no time at all, Norris and Lee were friends, and shortly after, they co-starred in the film The Way of the Dragon. In that film, Bruce Lee is often seen kicking in midair, a technique he is said to have learned from Norris.
腿法学自罗女士是不确切的。实际上早在64年，李小龙就跟美国跆拳道之父李金九就有很好的交往。那么呢，李小龙这个高腿法呢，实际上跟跆拳道、跟传统的北派武术、甚至包括跟罗女士的交流，可能点点滴滴的有一些总结，有些归纳，可能都有一定的益处，绝对不是某一个人教李小龙的，而是李小龙自我的一个总结。
Bruce Lee's high-kicking moves are very much loved by Jeet Kune Do practitioners, and they're still very popular today. The longer Bruce Lee stayed in the US, the more he came to realize how much Americans misunderstood China and how prejudiced they were against the Chinese people. He knew that Americans gained their prejudices through films made by Western countries which only showed backward aspects of the Chinese people and nation. He wanted to make films that revealed the true outlook of the Chinese people. Bruce Lee had loved movies from an early age, and he set his sights on appearing in films that would feature Chinese martial arts. These movies would include The Big Boss, Fists of Fury, Way of the Dragon, and most famous of all, the ever-popular Enter the Dragon. These films, which set records at the box office that remained unchallenged for a long time, led Westerners to look upon Chinese martial arts with greater respect. The astonishing routines performed by Bruce Lee in these films opened up new horizons for the Westerners who viewed them, and cinemagoers heaped praise on Bruce Lee. In 1973, Bruce Lee was at the peak of his career, and he was preparing to shoot his 5th Kung Fu movie, Game of Death. In a scene in the film, we see a treasure box, but it does not contain treasure. Inside is just a piece of paper. Written on it is a phrase from an ancient Buddhist scripture: living is a process waiting for death. No one could have expected that Bruce Lee would die during the shooting of this film that had the ominous title, Game of Death. In Hong Kong, on July the 20th, 1973, Bruce Lee died very suddenly, and numerous rumors about the cause of his death quickly spread. The life of Bruce Lee, a man who had become a true legend, came to an end shrouded in a mystery that may never be unraveled. Bruce Lee lived for just 32 years, and in that time he started only 4.5 Kung Fu movies. It was a short but brilliant life, and today his remarkable accomplishments are still remembered and celebrated. Bruce Lee, the very first Chinese to become famous in Hollywood, brought forth a new kind of Hollywood film, one that featured astonishing Kung Fu skills.
More than 3 decades have passed since Bruce Lee's death, but the Kung Fu style he established, Jeet Kune Do, is still going strong. Already well established in many parts of the world, Jeet Kune Do is now building up a presence here in China. At schools in various parts of the country, young people are practicing Jeet Kune Do. By doing so, they are keeping alive the memory and the martial spirit of Bruce Lee. In our next program, we'll hear more about Chinese Kung Fu.